everybody. Welcome to CAMHPRO Live 5 and 5. We are right now at Mental Health Association of San Francisco, and we're going to be talking to a few people here and doing a great intro. So again, if you haven't watched before, I'm Andrea Wagner, your executive director, and we are CAMHPRO, the California Association of Mental Health Peer-Run Organizations. And we are doing 5 regions in 5 weeks, visiting at least 25 different peer-run or people with lived experience or peer-run organizations throughout California. So welcome, and we're going to get started with just a live for our friends here in San Francisco. And first I'm going to introduce my co-pilot here today, Danny Medina.
Hello everyone, we're here in San Francisco, 3rd week of 5 and 5, and good to have you. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to switch the camera around and we're going to go over here and we're going to meet a few friends. Okay.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Mental Health Association of San Francisco. We're here, located here in downtown San Francisco. I am Erik Heriquez. I am the organization's Director of Peer Services. I have been with the Mental Health Association of San Francisco for 9 years now. It was my October 6th, which was my 9th anniversary. And I began as one of the very first Warmline counselors when our Warmline began back in October of 2014. And then I served as the manager for our former Marin program, in which we worked alongside with behavioral health and recovery services and worked with folks in Marin. And I have been the director of peer services for over 3 years now. And in my role, I oversee a combination of 14 small projects to very large programs. And first and foremost, I am a peer living in recovery myself with my own mental health challenges. In my case, I'm living in recovery with schizophrenia and bipolar. And you wanted to hear a little bit about the history of our organization?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the Mental Health Association of San Francisco, or MHASF as we're known. We were founded in 1947. For the past 75 years, we have reflected the forward-thinking vision that San Francisco is known for, and we are an agency of over close to 200 staff now across 3 different departments with several expansive programs. And our mission is to cultivate peer leadership, build community, and advance social justice in mental health. Our logo is the mental health bell. And so the history of the mental health bell is during early days of mental health treatment, asylums would restrain people who had mental illness with iron chains and shackles. With better understanding and treatment, this cruel practice eventually stopped. On April 1953, at the McShane Bell Foundry in Baltimore, Maryland, Mental Health America melted these inhumane bindings and recast them into the mental health bell. Today, the 300-pound bell serves as a powerful reminder that the invisible chains of misunderstanding and discrimination continue to bind people with mental illness. This bell rings out hope to mark the continued process in the fight for victory over mental illness and mental health stigma. So that is a bit of our history. So thank you for listening.
Thank you. All right, and we have a few people online right now. One says, love that you have a peer warm line.
Hi everybody, I'm Dee Dee Thatcher. I'm with the Mental Health Association of San Francisco, and I work in the Propel program. We're a workforce and training division of MHASF. I'm here with Violet. She's an employment specialist too, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Violet Hardy. I'm an employment specialist too here at the Mental Health Association of San Francisco. I am a peer. I'm 6 years in recovery from an extreme opiate addiction, and just grateful to work for an agency that recognizes the needs for peer support.
So we have a program, as I was saying, it's Propel. We focus on workforce development and training programs for peers, people with lived experience like ourselves. And we have a comprehensive program where we engage folks who desire to work in the mental health field, substance use disorder recovery, and just in general jobs that are supportive of peers themselves.
In the reentry community.
And the reentry community, I can't forget to mention that. Thank you for that, Violet. And so we have a program where people engage us, and we start with a vocational assessment, and we talk with folks about not only what they want to do, but how they can do it as far as working in the field of peer support. Medical peer support specialist training is something that we help folks engage with as well. That's an amazing program that's available to us now in California.
And they're assigned a one-on-one employment specialist that walks them through their employment journey, from resume building to LinkedIn profiles, mock interviews. We have a program that helps people find clothing, whatever they need to be successful in their employment journey.
Yeah, thank you. And Violet is absolutely wonderful and is just a rock star as far as helping folks find jobs that are suited to what they want to do. This isn't about going into a workplace and just working. This is about doing something that we're all passionate about. So we're really happy to be here with you folks from CAMHPRO. Thank you for having us.
Great. All right. This is a very large program, and there are a lot of pieces. So we're gonna hear about some more.
Hey, how's it going? I work in marketing at the Mental Health Association of San Francisco. Just want to say how much we appreciate folks for being a part of the mental health community, and CAMHPRO for doing this 5 and 5 series. It's, I think, really important to be able to connect as partner organizations, or I'm hearing an echo. But just making sure that we're all on the same page. There's so many great organizations around the state doing such great work. So what my role is with our agency is trying to make sure folks know about our services, like the California Peer Run Warm Line. So we try to get the word out there that there's a service available for folks 24/7 if they need to call and talk to someone for preventative care. We're also about trying to build up our mental health community locally, and something that we have coming up this weekend, actually, Saturday the 21st, there is a cornhole tournament that is also a fundraiser for MHASF. So if you're in San Francisco around Golden Gate Park, it's going to be at Marks Meadows from 1 to 5 p.m. The event is called the Aaron Alcorn Hole Memorial Tournament. It's a community of folks who are just rock stars. They set up a cornhole tournament, and it's a community event that's really built around remembering the legacy of someone who is named Aaron Alcorn, who died by suicide a few years ago. It's a group of close friends who knew Aaron really, really well, and they wanted to honor his memory. He was a big community sports fanatic. He would always organize soccer games, softball games. And so every year his friends get together and they organize this cornhole tournament. So if you're interested in that, again, that's this Saturday, the 21st in Golden Gate Park. If you're interested in signing up, you can do so. There's a link in our social media bio at Mental Health SF is our handle. You can go right to the link in the top there. And it's an Eventbrite link that you can find. We also have a blog up talking about some of the folks who put on the event. It's a really great opportunity to meet people who are either really into cornhole or really passionate about mental health, or all the above. There's going to be some great prizes too. There's, I think, a gift certificate for Foghorn Brewing. There's some other incentives there, and we'll have some of these warm line mugs there, some other memorabilia, and we'll have some of our MHASF team there. So even if you're not playing, come out and say hi. It's a community event. There's going to be a jumpy house for kids, and it's going to be a good time. So yeah, I'll pass over the mic here to our last MHASF team member, Jaelen.
And before you go, someone was asking online for the warm line number.
Oh yeah, it's right here. We actually did just get a new Vandy line, but it's 1-855-845-7415. And I believe you can also find it at 1-855-600-WARM, W-A-R-M. But that's on our website. You can find it pretty easily. But again, the number is 855-845-7415.
Awesome. And do you want to talk about your shirt?
Oh yeah, this is a conference that we do every year. It's called Redefining Crazy. We convene peers and stakeholders to share their research, their services, their findings, and usually it's a 2 to 3 day event. We're looking at spring of this year. This is a shirt from a couple years ago, but stood the test of time. But really the goal of it is, the tagline that we have for it is, it's the system, not the people, right? So part of our organization's mantra, one of our guiding philosophies is that, people aren't to blame for what's going on in the world. We just need to adapt the systems to, provide care more accordingly. So, keep an eye out for it. We're going to announce a save the date pretty soon here, but it's going to be spring in 2024 for the next one.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Jaelen Valdez. I am the Training Assistant Manager for our Training Institute, which is similar under the branch of DEI Development, Department of Education and Innovation. And what we do is we're probably the only program within MHASF that is, I guess, like revenue based, but what we do is training programs for different community members and stakeholders. And what we do is we help take our peer focused learnings and understandings and we expose them to the outside world, so the different community members, to different social services and case managers. And we're currently actually also reaching out to employment resource groups within the tech world. What we want to do and what our mission is in the Training Institute is to continue to spread awareness and education of our peer learnings and our understandings and expose it to the community, to continue to educate professional groups about our shared and lived experiences, whether you identify as a community or as a peer or a family member of a peer. That is our goal, is to make sure that we are spreading awareness. We currently, in our training program, we have a variety of mental health topics that we discuss. One of our most popular trainings is supportive crisis response, around de-escalation and how we can compassionately respond to those who are in a crisis, and how to support those. That one is really popular among our community members. We also talk about self and community care. We also talk about trainings around, right now we're developing a trauma-informed care, healing-centered engagement. So these topics are relatable, they're evidence-based, and we make sure that we are continuing to share our stories, just not outside in the peer world, but also to those in different organizations that may have never heard about what peer agencies are, what are peers. So we like to think of like we're educating the secular world, but like we want to make sure that we are expanding our outreach. And so I sort of do a lot of that work of developing curriculum with our different teams, and developing content, but we also do a lot of outreach, working with different peer-run groups, and as well as different institutions in the SF and Greater Bay Area, about our programs, to make sure that we are not just in this peer space, but we're continuing to grow this our stories and our mission. So that is what the training program's all about, and there's more information on our website about what particular trainings we offer, and there's also our email link if you have an agency and you want to bring a training there as well. So thank you.
So we are going to end our live in just a moment. Thank you all for joining in. We had quite a few people on today.
Hi everybody, I'm Dee Dee Thatcher. I am the Associate Director of Workforce and Training. I work for Mental Health Association of San Francisco, and we work with peers who are interested in developing their skills in the peer-related workforce, jobs that are supportive of our lives with lived experience. And the program that we provide services through is called Propel.
Okay, and how does someone get involved with your program?
Well, we have links on Mental Health Association of San Francisco's website. You can also find us at Propel at mentalhealthsf.com. And we have an application that's super easy. It takes less than 5 minutes to fill out. And what happens after that is we will be in contact with anyone who expresses interest. Pretty quickly. We have a agreement that we will respond to people who are interested in our program within 2 days, within 2 business days. So you'll hear from us right away. You'll get an email that will tell you about what we do and what steps will come next. And then we'll get you in touch with an employment specialist. We have employment specialists who help with everything from just talking with you about what your interests are and how we can help you, right through vocational interviewing, understanding what your skills are, what you'd like to build on your skills, and then also what kind of training we can provide for you. We do have direct connections to the Medi-Cal Peer Support Specialist Training Program, and that's a really amazing program that folks can do in less than 4 weeks. Then you're ready to go to work into the peer workforce. There is a state certification test that we also provide support for as well. And we do other things in Propel. We have a pro organization, which is Peers Reaching Out, where we support folks not only who have graduated through our program, but also just people who want to engage with us in the community. We also offer financial assistance for qualified expenses related to workforce and your training needs. And we're just here for you. You know, we have a real dedication to work with folks who identify as peers with lived experience and who want to work in a peer supportive workplace.
And is it just for people in San Francisco, or is it open to outside of that? What is your reach?
We service all of California.
Okay. And that's wonderful. What do you think can you think of like some success stories that you've had or things that stick in your mind as like, yeah, this is why I would do the work?
Oh, absolutely. We had one. Actually, we've had 2 recently that are pretty amazing. Our employment specialist, Violet Hardy, who has been working really hard with some of our participants who have completed the Medi-Cal Peer Support Specialist training program and have actually taken the test, passed, and gotten their certification. And these were people who actually came to us feeling like, oh, I might not be able to, get a job. I've had a break in my employment history. And Violet was able to work with these participants of the Propel program very closely, meeting with them every week, sometimes multiple times a week. And, it took a lot of times of filling out applications in some case. In one case in particular, we know that Violet helped them do over 20 applications. They got a job that is amazing, and they are so grateful. They reached out to me directly to say what a wonderful job that Violet had done, how they were so grateful. And, what I just responded with was, you deserve it. You totally deserve that kind of support. And that's what we do. And we have a very similar story as well. And that person actually went to work for us through MHASF's Warm Line. And so we were able to, through Propel, connect them with the hiring managers that are on the Warm Line, and they were able to get a job on the Warm Line. And so that was a real success story as well. So, and we do that frequently.
So it's not about having a degree or diploma or, knowing your career path. It's just coming in and learning and being part of this with your lived experience.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. We definitely lean into, and it is what we do. We work with other peers. I'm a peer with lived experience, with other peers with lived experience who want to legitimize their lived experience in the workforce. And that's what the Medi-Cal Peer Support Specialist training and certification does. It allows us to be able to get that certification in a short period of time, in this case, let's say 4 weeks, and be able to look for a job right away. It's not get your 2-year degree or your 4-year degree and then maybe you can find a job. We're getting people work right away, and that's so important to support our mental health, our physical well-being, and being able to support our families.
I've heard, I know when I started my career in peer support, I thought, I can't work. I can't do this, but, someone encouraged me to apply for a peer job. And I mean, you kind of touched on this, but do you want to talk about why would someone want to work if they have, if they're not feeling well? What is the benefits to working?
That's a really good question. The benefits to working are that it builds your self-confidence. And it definitely provides infrastructure for your life when you're working with peers amongst yourself who might have had similar thoughts, similar feelings about and questioning our ability, myself included, to be able to go into the workforce and be a productive employee, coworker, and be accepted for who I am. A break in employment history. I don't have a college degree. All these things, right? And so this is, to me, why peers should at least investigate this new kind of idea that we have about peer supportive work, where you can go to work who you are. And you don't have to hide your lived experience. You don't have to be shameful of your lived experience. And it makes me emotional because it is quite an amazing experience. And I will just say for myself, coming from a non-peer support work, coming kind of like what you were talking about, and being accepted for who I am, it's changed my life.
Well, I'll give you opportunity. Is there anything else that you feel like you really want people to know about MHSF or about your programs? Or
I would really like people to know that Mental Health Association of San Francisco and Propel, the program that we're talking about today, workforce development and training, is something that is for anyone who wants to work in a field where they feel that they're supported in their life, that they are working in a field that brings them the satisfaction of helping others and also being successful, being professional. And it's possible for all of us.
Hello, my name is Jaelen Valdez. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the Training Institute Assistant Manager at MHASF. I help with program development, I help with curriculum development, and I manage all of our trainings. We have live trainings that we do when we go into organizations, and we teach about our mental health topics. We also have a on-demand, sort of like a live platform, or like not a streaming platform, but like a digital library of our trainings that people can purchase as well. And basically what we do in our program is we help with our peer-focused learnings and our stories, and we build them into professional development trainings. So we educate other community agencies and other social services about mental health topics from a peer perspective. And it's really important for us at MHASF because we want to expand our stories and our awareness and our outreach to not just the peer programs, but also to a wider audience. And because we're located in San Francisco, we're fortunate enough to have a community filled with all different types of, advocate groups and grassroots organizations and other community-based organizations that are doing wonderful work. So we want to continue to partner with those people to increase their understandings around mental health. And one of our most popular trainings that we have in the Training Institute is de-escalation. And with de-escalation, what we do is we educate people about the techniques needed to support someone through a crisis. And as peers who may have experienced a crisis, we know how it is, to be treated with respect, with humility, and compassion. And those are some key ways to bring us back to baseline. And so we want to continue that conversation with, other community agencies to help prepare them so when they're dealing with clients and they're dealing with their community population, that they feel prepared to help, de-escalate a situation. And we have a variety of trainings, such as one that we really incorporate, evidence-based learnings into, a more digestible platform of like education. And so that's what we do, and I do a variety of things for my program. We are a small team of 2.5 because we have our senior training manager, Sunny Lewitsky, who does a lot, oversees like our training, contracts with other CBOs, and then also helps with outreach as well. And then we have Fallon, and Fallon does like part-time on the warm line and part-time with us. And warm line is this whole different department and program, but what we like to do is we really like to have like interconnecting departments and programs and people with shared knowledge to bring to other different departments. So I think that is what's really awesome about MHASF, is that we really are a community of folks that have different skills and prior experiences that we can all utilize. So
just to give people an idea, we talked offline earlier about most of the staff work remotely, and so can you explain a little bit about like how many staff you have and kind of how you do the work?
Yeah, so our staff majority is hybrid. We are moving towards being in the office. We have right now I think we have just a little over 200 employees at MHASF, given MHASF started as like a 10 employee like agency, so it's really expanded over the last I feel like decade, and so as we see this exponential growth, we have different programs that utilize the offices in different ways. I know that majority of folks up in our 9th floor are HR, and they're mostly like in office, and then we also have some departments and programs that are in office some certain days out of the week. And on Wednesdays we have drop-ins for our support groups in this office on this floor, on the 7th floor, and that is with peer services. And Erik heads the department of peer services, and they help facilitate with more of our like direct in-person sort of services. So that exists on this floor, and I believe that we will all be moving towards coming in the office 2 to 3 days out of the week, but it is an exciting time to rebuild our infrastructure.
And when you do your trainings, do you do them mostly online? Do you go out to meet people? How do you do that? And is it limited to San Francisco?
Yeah, that's a good question. To start off, no, it is not limited to San Francisco, because we work and we outreach within the city. We are more connected to San Francisco organizations, but we're not limited. We work with different groups. I believe we've even worked with the agency in Hawaii before. And so with that being said, we do offer virtual trainings. So the pandemic obviously shifted us more to like online learning, but we wanted to expand that. We want to make sure that folks in other, outside of the Bay Area and Greater California and other locations outside of California have access to our trainings. So we also do in-person, and we also do virtual. So we do have 2 options. We have a high demand with our virtual trainings, but we also are starting to see a high demand in our in-person because more people want that hands-on experience and group discussion when we're in a classroom setting and we're all engaged, and we can talk to our supervisors and managers and ask questions and spark conversation.
Just can you think of an example of something that people have asked you in a training, or something that stood out to you as like, kind of the why we do this work and why it's important?
Oh yeah. One particular agency that we worked with, Health Rate 360, which is an organization within San Francisco, and we worked with their intake team, and Health Rate 360 offers it's a clinical setting, and so they offer a lot of wraparound services. but particularly within the intake department, they would intake a lot of folks in the community who are, experiencing, a mental health crisis, or maybe, some sort of like substance withdrawals. So they experienced a lot of like crisis related situations. And so when we empowered that team and we trained that team, I think we had a couple of, I think it was about two or three training sessions with them, but particularly we trained them in de-escalation and like crisis response. And I remember there was a lot of positive feedback from their intake team stating like, I have no idea what to do. I'm trained in this in my field, but I have no idea what to do when someone is, comes in and you can tell that they're at a very activated state. And so, not feeling maybe supported in the area, or not knowing how to, get support from a, supervisor was really, really hard for a lot of those folks on that team. And so one positive thing was that they felt they appreciated our help, but they also developed their protocols. Like they developed a whole new set of protocols based on their learnings from us, and they followed up with us like several months later saying that now their intake team has these new protocols that they have in place, how to support one of their their community or just like the employers themselves, how to support one another when a crisis occurs, and like what to do and how do we de-escalate. And they sort of have it now as like not a monthly, but maybe ever so often they retrain their employees on how to go about de-escalation in a compassionate way. And we're all about like non-police involvement within the city, because there's a lot of like political things there, but there's also we come from a very peer-based like mentality of we can de-escalate without creating more crisis when a police shows up, because most of our law enforcement within the city are not trained on de-escalation or how to deal with a mental health crisis. So until we have that infrastructure, we really rely on de-escalation techniques from our sort of peer space. And so, yeah, I think just like the positive feedback and seeing like programs actually implement it within their like policies, I think was like, okay, wow, like I see this like really manifesting for other communities.